Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to show you 13 celebrities who have tested positive for COVID-19. As the third wave of COVID rains down on most of the world, we can take comfort in knowing that the long nightmare will be over soon. And when we say soon, we mean maybe never. Wear a mask, social distance, and stop subscribing to conspiracy theories, folks. If it can work in Canada, New Zealand and Australia, it can work elsewhere. Also, if you think you can't catch the virus, consider that even the most famous among us have come down with it. Here are 13 celebrities who have had COVID or are currently positive. Number 1. Tom Hanks. Hanks was the first high-profile celebrity to publicly announce that he had contracted COVID-19. Diagnosed in March in Australia while filming an Elvis Presley biopic, Hanks described his symptoms as bone-crushing and said he felt extremely fatigued. Fortunately, he's made a full recovery. At the time he was diagnosed, there was this idea that this would be a game changer and people would start taking the virus seriously since somebody we all know had contracted it. In hindsight, it's pretty silly to imagine that everybody would start acting responsible, no? Number 2. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. When The Rock contracted COVID back in August, he called it a real ass-kicking. To put things in perspective, he makes a living getting punched in the throat with a folding chair. So if a guy this big and strong can have issues with the virus, anybody can. He says he likely caught it from close family friends. His wife and 2 young daughters had to endure COVID as well, although the kids didn't apparently end up having any symptoms. Number 3. Jack Nicklaus. Perhaps the greatest living golfer, Nicklaus and his wife contracted COVID in July. He has described himself as one of the fortunate ones. However, this hasn't stopped him from dabbling in wild conspiracy theories, such as questioning the COVID death count and even taking the unproven drug hydroxychloroquine. Does this make him a total and complete bozo? It just might. It just might. Number 4. Prince Charles. Prince Charles is next in line to be the King of England, although we aren't so certain as we have every reason to believe Queen Elizabeth II is immortal. In any event, he got the virus in March when the COVID death and despair party was really just getting started. He stated that all things considered, he got off pretty lightly. However, it took months for him to regain his sense of taste and smell. Number 5. Boris Johnson. The Benny Hill of politics, it was probably not shocking that a guy who continued to insist on shaking hands even when the virus was blowing up would become infected. Things took such a turn that the UK Prime Minister ended up in the hospital for a few days, even requiring a ventilator, once his breathing problems got bad enough. The presidents of America and Brazil also contracted COVID after spending months insisting it was a hoax. Karma? Number 6. Placido Domingo. The opera legend caught COVID in March when Spain was experiencing its first wave. It was serious enough that the 79-year-old required hospitalization, but he ended up making a full recovery. Number 7. Pink. Pink and her 3-year-old son Jameson contracted COVID in March, an experience that she found to be physically and emotionally challenging. While most children seem to do fine, she stated that Jameson had a fever and several other symptoms that made it an extremely unpleasant experience. Pink has since donated a cool $1 million to assist healthcare workers in law in Philadelphia. Number 8. Roy Horn. If you guessed it, Roy Horn, half of the duo of Siegfried and Roy, was the one who was mauled by his white tiger back in 2003, you are correct. But you had a 50/50th chance, so it's not all that impressive. Sadly, he died on May 8, 2020, at the age of 75 from COVID, making him one of the most high-profile celebrities to succumb to the virus. Number 9. Madonna. Celebrities are weird, and there's no better example than Madonna. First, there was the Instagram photo of her in a milky bathtub, calling COVID the great equalizer, since anybody can catch it, and somehow concluding that this made it wonderful. When she tested positive in May, she declared that she would go for a long drive and breath in the COVID air. Then she had an Instagram post flagged in July when she falsely claimed that a vaccine was already available for the wealthy. Good Lord, Madonna. Really? Number 10. Cristiano Ronaldo. After testing positive for COVID in October, Cristiano Ronaldo was whisked away to tour in Italy in an air ambulance. The perks of being a millionaire, Immer? However, it sounds like the flight into Italy wasn't authorized, and the Italian sports minister opened up an investigation into the matter. Meh. It's doubtful that anything will come of it since he's good at kicking soccer balls and scoring a bunch of goals or whatever. Number 11. Trevor Lawrence. When there were discussions back in August about canceling the college football season due to the pandemic, the star quarterback for the Clemson Tigers was among the most vocal #we want to play players. All seemed fine until late October when Lawrence himself tested positive. It forced him to miss the game against Boston College. The Tigers won, but struggled without him. But most importantly, he has to sit out on November 7th when Clemson faces Notre Dame, arguably the most important game of the entire college football season. Number 12. Kanye West. Everybody's favorite rapper zany cartoon character announced in July that he had suffered from COVID back in February, with symptoms including chills and shaking in bed. His wife Kim Kardashian nursed him back to health while also having to care for 4 kids. To show his appreciation, he surprised her with a hologram of her dead dad on her 40th birthday. That's literally the most normal thing that he has ever done. Number 13. Novak Djokovic. Djokovic is one of the greatest tennis players of all time. At one time he bought the world's entire supply of donkey cheese. That's not a joke, guys. He is also a vocal anti-vaxxer. Nuts to that. He and his wife tested positive for COVID in June, but he says he only had mild symptoms such as fatigue. When he thought about skipping out on the US Open, he claimed it was because of a witch hunt against him. He ultimately did play, but probably shouldn't have. He accidentally nailed a line judge in the head with a ball while it wasn't in play and was DQ''D from the event. All this is for today's video. Hope so you enjoyed it. Your likes, comments and shares are appreciable for us. And don't forget to subscribe our channel for such more videos. Thank you.